Max Holloway was supposed to be the BMF king, but one fight changed everything. Max Holloway walked into UFC 326 as the living blueprint for what it means to be the baddest fighter on the planet. His reputation wasn't built on hype, it was carved out of numbers that no one in the game could touch. Holloway sat at the top of the all-time UFC charts with 3,681 significant strikes landed. That's not just a record, it's a warning. If you step in front of Max, you're stepping into a storm. At featherweight, he defended his title 4 times, matching legends and leaving a trail of battered contenders. When he fought Calvin Kattar, Holloway threw 361 significant strikes in a single fight, an avalanche of offense that became instant highlight reel history. Fight after fight, he averaged nearly 10 significant strikes per minute, forcing opponents to drown in volume. But numbers only tell half the story. Holloway drew the loudest cheers, the wildest chants, and the kind of fan devotion that turns arenas electric. He summed up his own style with a line that stuck: "I fight like a fight fan. I love the excitement, the pressure, the chaos, that's why I keep throwing." With that mindset, Holloway looked untouchable, the man everyone expected to keep the BMF crown. The real question was, who, if anyone, could ever stop him? Charles Oliveira's story isn't about easy wins or overnight stardom. It's the grind, the heartbreak, and the rebuild that turned him into one of the most dangerous finishers MMA has ever seen. Early in his UFC run, Oliveira was written off, too inconsistent and too vulnerable under pressure. Losses piled up. Critics called him a gatekeeper. But the man from Sao Paulo didn't quit. Instead, he tore his game down and started over. After a tough loss to Ilia Topuria in 2025, Oliveira said he needed to rebuild from the ground up. He meant it. He overhauled his camp, brought in new coaches, and added wrestling and striking specialists to sharpen every weapon. The results are undeniable. A career record of 36 wins, 11 losses, and 1 no contest. But what really stands out is his submission count, with more than 20 finishes by tapout, more than anyone else in UFC history. Each fight, Oliveira's confidence grew. He blended his world-class jiu-jitsu with crisp, dangerous striking. He became a threat everywhere, on the feet, on the mat, in the clinch. By the time he stepped into the cage with Holloway, Oliveira wasn't just chasing redemption. He was hunting greatness, armed with the tools and mindset to shock the world. Oliveira didn't just survive Holloway's volume, he erased it. From the opening bell, Oliveira crashed forward with sharp combinations, landing 5 clean shots before Holloway could even find his range. At 45 seconds, Oliveira shot for the first takedown and planted Holloway on his back. That single move flipped the script. Instead of a striking clinic, Holloway was stuck defending on the mat, his output throttled by Oliveira's top control. The numbers tell the story. Oliveira landed 63 significant strikes at a ruthless 69% accuracy, while Holloway's own accuracy crumbled to 34%. Every time Holloway tried to reset, Oliveira chained in another takedown, 3 in total, each one draining the clock and Holloway's momentum. Over 4 minutes of control time kept the former champ pinned, unable to let his hands go. By round 3, Holloway's legendary pace had stalled. The scorecards were a sweep, 50-45, all judges. Oliveira's pressure, accuracy, and perfectly timed grappling left no doubt. Holloway's storm never arrived. The BMF crown was up for grabs, and Oliveira had just seized it with cold, technical violence. When the final horn echoed through T-Mobile Arena, there was no doubt left. Charles Oliveira stood in the center, sweat-soaked and grinning, as the BMF belt was strapped around his waist. This wasn't just a trophy, it was a coronation. The BMF title, first unveiled at UFC 244 back in 2019 for Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, has always been more than gold and leather. It is a symbol, handed to the fighter who lives for war, who never backs down, who brings chaos and heart every time the cage door closes. As Oliveira raised the belt, the crowd erupted. Social media lit up in real time. Over 12,000 tweets with hashtag OliveiraBMF in the first 24 hours. Instagram reels of his takedown chains flooded timelines, and Reddit polls swung hard in his favor. Headlines from ESPN and CBS called it the start of a new era, and even seasoned analysts could not ignore the momentum shift. The BMF belt, once just a wild experiment, now felt like a legend reborn. Oliveira's victory became a rallying point for fans who crave grit over hype, and for a moment, the entire MMA world agreed. The baddest in the game had a new face. This was not just a win. It was a rewrite of UFC mythology, with Oliveira's name carved at the top. 19,480 fans packed the T-Mobile Arena, and the gate soared past $8.3 million. A clear signal that the world was watching more than just a title fight. The business side of UFC 326 exploded. Social feeds and forums buzzed with one question: who is next for Oliveira, and does Holloway deserve another shot? Matchmakers wasted no time fueling the fire. Rumors of a rematch started swirling before the post-fight interviews even wrapped. Some insiders floated Oliveira's name for a lightweight super fight, maybe even a clash with the reigning champion or a returning legend. The numbers back it up. Oliveira's new BMF status is not just a storyline, it is a marketing goldmine. His fan base is surging, his highlight reels are everywhere, and every contender in the top 10 wants a piece of that spotlight. Holloway, still beloved and dangerous, remains the perfect foil for a blockbuster rematch or a trilogy. The stakes have never been higher. With this kind of momentum, the UFC's matchmaking board is wide open, and the next move could reshape the entire division. This is the new era, no mercy, no doubts. Oliveira just shattered the BMF standard and changed the game. Is Charles Oliveira now the most dangerous fighter in the UFC? Drop your answer below.